What's good? One out, it's your boy Big Benz back another banger, and today we got NBA playoffs and play in 2025. Now I'm gonna give y'all my predictions of what I think is gonna happen. We already know what happened with Golden State winning the seventh and eighth game to determine who's the seventh and the eighth place, or potentially eighth place or seventh place. Y'all know what I'm saying. The first play-in game, basically. So Golden State won that. Now they got to go against Houston. I personally think Houston is gonna lose just because Golden State has Jimmy Butler and Steph Curry. They are known to be menaces on the court. Houston is kind of like, they're good, like, yeah, they're amazing, but I feel like this is like another Memphis Grizzlies versus Lakers situation. You know what I'm saying? Like, the team is very talented, just young and not as experienced. And I think Golden State's experience is gonna ultimately win, honestly. Then we got Orlando that beat the Hawks. We already know Orlando was cooked regardless, bro. They were cooked regardless. They got to go against either Cleveland or Boston Celtics. Honestly, the Hawks and Orlando are cooked regardless. It doesn't matter who is the eighth seed. If I'm being real, you're cooked. You're not making it out, buddy. You're not. I'm just being real, bro. I'm just being real. Anyways, though, I'm gonna give y'all my honest predictions. Obviously, y'all know me being an OKC fan. I want my team to win, but we do have some competition this year. I ain't gonna cap. So we're gonna start with, who do I think is gonna win the next play-in game, which is the ninth versus 10th place. You know what I'm saying? Which one is determined to be the ninth place, or going in to try to be the eighth place. You know what I'm saying? Y'all know what I'm talking about. So it should be in the West. If I'm not mistaken, it should be the Mavericks versus the Kings. I got the Kings winning that, bro. I ain't gonna cap. The Kings are more functional. Even though they just lost De'Aaron Fox, they're still more functional. They got Zach LaVine, DeMar DeRozan. I don't know how that's going to work out fully, but they got Sabonis now, and they got a better coaching staff. So I think that's going to ultimately kick the Mavs' butt, since they're injured already, and the system is just terrible right now, if I'm being real. The moment they lost Luka, they were cooked. Anyways, yeah, I think the Kings are going to beat the Mavericks, but hey, we don't. Who's to say? Maybe AD might show up and might show out. You know what I'm saying? And then after that, the Kings should be going against the Grizzlies. I'm gonna go on a very controversial take here. This might be the most controversial take the whole video. I think the Sacramento Kings are going to have probably the biggest upset in the play-in. Not the playoffs, but the play-ins. I think the Kings are gonna beat the Grizzlies, bro. I think the Kings are actually going to beat the Grizzlies. I don't know, man. I'm not convinced with Ja Morant right now. I'm really not. It's not the Ja Morant that I saw in the playoffs just a couple years ago. It's not the same Ja Morant. It's a whole different Ja Morant. He's not even the best player on his team. Jaren Jackson Jr. has been the best player on the team. So I don't know. I'm thinking the Kings could actually win this one. Especially, how the freak does the Grizzlies go from the third seed in such a short amount of time to a play-in team? I think they're actually going to lose. They're not going to make it to the playoffs. Kings, I'm saying the Kings are going to be in eighth place. That might be a controversial take, but I think that might be. I think that might happen. Genuinely might happen. The Kings are going to be right there. Make that a little bit smaller. But they got to go against OKC. So they're cooked regardless. They're cooked. But you had a good run, though. You had a good run. Then the not the West, the East, who's going to be on the 8th, who's going to win the ninth versus 10th place. I'm going to say the Chicago Bulls. That's going to be another upset. I think Miami is the favorites to win because they have Tyler Hero and because they got, their team is actually not terrible. It's just that Jimmy Butler's missing out. Their killer instinct is gone now. So I think Chicago, with the new talent they got, Kobe White actually being able to play with the ball more, we see how Kobe White moving. I ain't gonna lie. I think Chicago Bulls are going to beat Miami Heat. but then they're gonna ultimately lose to the Atlanta Hawks due to inexperience. I'm looking at the score between Chicago and Miami right now, and I was wrong, bro. Chicago got smacked. They got smacked. And Trae Young being him. You know what I'm saying? So I think Atlanta Hawks, even though they got clapped by Orlando, they're going to still make the playoffs. They get clapped by the Cleveland Cavaliers. Probably, maybe not swept, but they're going to lose them 5 to the Cleveland Cavaliers, bro. Just like the Kings, they're not going to get swept. They're going to lose in 5 to the OKC Thunder. That's what I think is going to happen. Now, as far as the playoffs go, let's start with OKC versus the Kings. I've already explained what I thought was going to happen. OKC is going to destroy the Kings, bro. That's what I expect to happen. That's what I expect to happen. You know what I'm saying? Now, the Kings, the reason why they were so cold was because they had De'Aaron Fox. Them trading De'Aaron Fox make them not as big of a threat, in my opinion. But the Kings aren't bad, though. It's just that OKC is OKC. You know what I'm saying? Denver versus the Clippers. I know people saying don't sleep on Kawhi Leonard. I'm not going to lie. Like, if Kawhi Leonard manages to stay healthy, I think he still loses. I think they lose in 7 if Kawhi Leonard manages to stay healthy. But if he gets injured, like game 1, game 2, like he did in last year's playoffs, then they losing in 5. I ain't going to cap. They losing in 5. But Denver Nuggets should win this regardless. I ain't going to lie. I don't see a reality where Denver Nuggets lose to the Clippers. I'm just be real, bro. I'm going to just keep it a buck. They're no slouches. It's just that Jokic is Jokic. And he has such a great supporting cast around him. Even though they're on a slump this year, they have such a great supporting cast. I don't see them losing to the Clippers, bro. I just don't. Lakers versus Minnesota. This one is going to be very, very close. I'm not going to lie. Like, honestly, I think going against the Golden State Warriors would have been more entertaining to watch. But we're going to get that probably next round. This one is going to be very close, though. This could go either way, literally. This could literally go either way. Luka is Luka. If they can manage to slow down LeBron and take advantage of the fact they don't have a big man, then Minnesota wins. And we've seen they done that exact same thing on the Nuggets. And their big man was Jokic. The best player in the league right now. You know what I'm saying? So, I don't know. Like, they should win. The Minnesota should win if they can stop LeBron and they can take advantage of no big man. But, on the other hand, Luka is Luka. LeBron is LeBron, bro. Luka is Luka. He's the top 3 player in the NBA. Top 3 in the NBA right now. Top 4 in the NBA. Number 1, Jokic. Number 2, Shea. And I'm saying Shea deserves to win MVP, though. But as far as who accomplished more and who is better now, obviously I'm going to say Jokic. He has 3 MVPs, a candidate for 2 extra, candidate for 5, won a championship, was a finals MVP. Shea hasn't really proved anything yet. So I'm going to say Jokic is better. But I do think this season specifically, Shea should win the MVP. I'm not going to lie. I do think that. Anyways, back on topic. I'm getting off topic now. I'm yapping now. Minnesota Timberwolves, I think they could win against the Lakers, but I think the Lakers ultimately with Luka is going to be too much, bro. I do think that. I genuinely do think that. The Lakers with Luka is just a different team. You know what I'm saying? When they had AD, they were getting destroyed by the Minnesota Timberwolves. But with Luka, it's a different story now. You know what I'm saying? Houston versus Golden State, I don't even got to explain too much. I've already explained what I thought was going to happen. It's going to be Golden State beating Houston Rockets. I'm not going to lie. It's going to be that. It's going to be that. Because the Houston Rockets lack experience. Now, Cleveland Cavaliers versus the Hawks, obviously, it's pretty obvious on who should win this one. Pretty obvious. It's the Cleveland Cavaliers, bro. They should win. They should win in 4. I ain't gonna cap. They really should sweep them. But I think they're gonna win in 5. I think they're gonna lose 1 game. That's it. They're just gonna lose 1 game. But they should win in 4. They should win in 4. Indiana versus Milwaukee. This is tricky, bro. This is very tricky. Like Milwaukee, it depends on if Giannis can stay healthy and if Damian Lillard comes back to help Giannis. Because they ain't got Drew Holiday no more. So I ain't gonna lie. They need to stop. They need to stop. What's dude name? I forgot his name. For some reason, I forgot the dude name. But he on the Indiana Pacers. They need to stop Halliburton, bro. If they can stop him or like slow him down, they can win. And if they can have Giannis being healthy the entire time, because Giannis is the key to the championship. In all honesty, I still think they convincingly can win a championship. It's just that if Giannis stays injured all the time, when it matters the most, they're never gonna win again. You know what I'm saying? But it's Giannis at the end of the day. It's Giannis. I know people don't take him seriously like they did a couple years ago, but it's still Giannis. I think the Pacers are gonna win though. I think they're gonna win in 7, surprisingly, and I think Giannis is probably gonna potentially a request for a trade. I don't know. That could happen. It could happen. I don't see how Indiana loses to Milwaukee with Damian Lillard coming back injury prone and Giannis having a history of losing because he's injured. You know what I'm saying? But like I said, if on the chances Giannis stays healthy, then Milwaukee should win. He should win. You know what I'm saying? They still both lose to the Cleveland Cavaliers, but that ain't the point though. Y'all get my point. New York Knicks versus Detroit. New York Knicks wins, and honestly, I'm really impressed with Detroit. I'm not gonna lie. I'm really impressed with them this year. Like the fact they went from the worst team last year. They didn't pull the whole OKC Thunder type of turnaround. They went from the worst team in the league, having probably the biggest losing streak of all time, only behind the Wizards, to being a playoff team the next season. That's a Philadelphia 76ers type of turnaround right there. I'm not gonna lie. Boston Celtics versus Orlando, we already know who's gonna win that. It's pretty obvious, bro. It's no way the Celtics lose to Orlando. I just don't see it. Sorry, I just don't see it. Now, this is tricky. We're gonna go back to the OKC real quick. OKC versus the Nuggets. I know a lot of y'all gonna say the Nuggets. I'm not denying that Jokic is a better player than Shea right now. But OKC as a team is better than the Nuggets. I ain't gonna lie. As long as Jalen Williams shows up in the playoffs, as long as Shea continue to be consistent, which he does, we already know that's what Shea does. As long as Chet Holmgren does his thing on defensively, then the Thunder destroys the Nuggets. If that happens. But if they don't, and they allow Jokic to do his thing, then it's raps. I ain't gonna lie. Thunder loses. But I'm thinking it's a huge possibility that Thunder wins this one. I'm not gonna lie. I think it's a huge possibility. The Thunder has been dominant all year, and they've been going crazy all year. And the Nuggets have kind of been doing not great. And on top of that, not to mention, they don't have a coach no more. So really, the Nuggets might lose to the Clippers, with that being said. But anyways, that ain't the point. I think the Nuggets are going to beat the Clippers and the Thunder is going to beat the Nuggets. It's so much advantages that Thunder have over the Nuggets right now. Lakers versus the Warriors. This is tough. This is tough to say. Like, if Jimmy Butler can lock up Luka some way, somehow, I don't think there's any way to lock up Luka. I'm going to just keep it a buck. There's no way they're locking up Luka. I'm sorry. But Jimmy Butler, if Jimmy Butler can be Jimmy Butler and do his Jimmy Butler things, then Jimmy Butler is going to make them an automatic threat and beat the Lakers. But Luka is Luka and LeBron is LeBron. So once again, I'm going to have to say Lakers, not in 5. I know a lot of people say Lakers in 5. I'm going to say Lakers in 7. 6 or 7. I'm going to say Lakers in 6 or 7, bro. I ain't going to cap. This series is going to be good. That series is going to be good when it happens. I'm sure the Warriors are actually going to win. I'm pretty sure. They should win at least. But Lakers should win this series. And it should be in 6 or 7. I'm not going to lie. So, the Cleveland Cavaliers versus the Indiana Pacers. Cleveland Cavaliers wins. And I only got to explain it. Do I really have to explain why they win? Do I really have to explain why they win? I don't think so. I mean, the Indiana Pacers only beat injured teams last year. That's why they got to the conference finals. That isn't that unless the Cavs team get injured, then yeah, it's over. They run is the second round. I'm not gonna lie. And then the Knicks versus the Celtics. Jalen Brunson is nice and all, but the Celtics are the Celtics, bro. The Celtics are the Celtics. I think the Celtics are going to the finals, bro. Again. I think the Celtics are going to the finals again. Honestly. I do genuinely think that. The Celtics are the Celtics. They have such a stacked, deep team. The team is almost as stacked. Well, no, it's probably more stacked than OKC. Probably more stacked than OKC. It's probably like a similar level of stacked team. I'm not gonna lie. Similar levels of stacked team. OKC versus the Lakers. Honestly, I think OKC Lakers that's gonna be a tough one, bro. I think that's going to 7. I think this one is going to 7 just because Luka, I don't know what it is, but Luka is like kryptonite to Thunder, bro. I don't know if as an OKC I'm noticing that. Like Luka is like kryptonite to the Lakers. I mean to the Thunder. So with him having LeBron on his side, it's gonna be rough. I do think the Thunder could win and probably will win at 7. I do think the Thunder could win at 7. And if the Thunder wins, then it's like, okay, yeah, the Thunder overcame Luka. The Luka, the daddy allegations. You know what I'm saying? Y'all know what people been saying. People been trying to say that Shea is his daddy. I mean, no, Luka is Shea's daddy or whatever like that. No Diddy, but y'all get what I'm saying. Anyways, I think the Thunder could actually beat the Lakers. And I think it's more than likely it will happen. I'm not going to lie. I think it's more than likely it will happen. So I'm going to say that OKC beats the Lakers, goes to the finals. Boston Celtics obviously beating the Cavs. I don't think we got to explain why. Celtics got experience in the playoffs. They've been in this position many times before. This Cavs team, they haven't been in this position before. Not saying they can't go all the way. I'm just saying, like, it's a different feeling. They haven't been here before. And their team is good, but it's so inexperienced. It's so young. Just like OKC. But OKC actually has a little bit more playoff experience now. Because they was just the first seed last year. So, it's different. The Celtics are going to win against the Cavs. What the freak? Anyways, that should be the finals. This year finals is going to be OKC versus the Celtics. And Thunder getting up to the finals is going to be a very tough battle. Like, that's going to be a very tough battle. Go against the Nuggets. Only reason they win against the Nuggets because they coach. They ain't got no coach for real. And their team is kind of dysfunctional right now. Lakers, Thunder, I mean, that's going to be a tough one. Thunder versus Celtics. Who I think is going to win this? Who I want to win? Obviously, OKC. I want OKC to win this so bad. I do. But the Celtics, though. The Celtics are the Celtics. The Celtics are the Celtics, bro. OKC is OKC. Like, they're the best in the league right now. But Celtics are the Celtics. They got experience. They've been in this position twice already. They won a championship. I'm still going to say Thunder in 6, though. I'm not going to lie. I'm still going to say Thunder in 6. But I do think the Celtics has a good chance of winning, too, though. I ain't going to lie. I think every team that's in the top 2, no, just top 2 have a chance of winning on the right side, on the eastern side. And everybody in the top 7 have a good chance of going to the finals. I ain't going to cap. So this is what I think is going to happen. This is my predictions. I don't know how accurate this is going to be. I know a lot of y'all probably looking at me crazy. Like, You really think the Los Angeles Lakers losing to the Thunder? Well, yeah, I do think so. And I do think the Thunder could win the championship this year. That's what I'm hoping for, at least. But I think everything else, even if y'all think Thunder is not going to win, I think the rest of this thing is kind of accurate, though. The Warriors beating the Houston Rockets is accurate. Lakers beating the Minnesota Timberwolves is accurate. Lakers beating the Warriors, again, is kind of accurate. It can go either way, honestly. It can go either way with Jimmy on the team. Boston beating Knicks, accurate, very accurate. Pacers beating Milwaukee, kind of accurate. Cavs beating Atlanta, very accurate. Cavs lose to the Celtics, accurate. Celtics losing the Thunder, possible. Yeah, it's either way. Either way, honestly, it's hard to say. They both dominant teams, though. They both dominant teams, so it's hard to say really who's gonna win. I'm just going with the Thunder because I like the Thunder more. Anyways, I'm gone.